so they would like me. Because I was so insecure. When you start to build yourself up, you start to have the one thing that we don't have is confidence. Real, authentic confidence from hard work. Everything is when you do it.
Oh, yeah.
That's right. You know,
This is David Lager.
and I've never, for years and decades, I put in the David Goggins. And so, it's actually feeling your heart. Look, listen to the smile. I love you. But the fear I have in my soul and my heart, that's why we smile. I don't need to smile. I don't need you to look at me and say, oh my God, you look happy. Because half of us aren't happy. But if you see something that you think you really see, I don't do it anymore. I don't care if you can see 30 seconds. When you sit down and you're not smart, you have a disability, and you still want to be the top of the class, I'm going to get by. But I realized that I can run through hard work. I can beat the valedictorian in school. I can put in 2 hours more a day for years. Who's going to spring comes to me? When you sit there like that valedictorian for an hour, and you know, I caught you. I caught you, and but I have the work ethic to catch you. That's what David Goggins got really good. At the kitchen table, with 20 spiral windows that were empty, and then 3 months later, they were full. And you were going through that. You had enough to do. You're going through these notebooks of your life. And you know, this is how I work. This is unbelievable. There's no miles. It's not about the miles. It's that. Have a discipline every day so that you can leave alone this one math problem if you can get out. That's where, when you realize through hard work, you can outwork anybody. But that's the part people don't want to dive into.
When someone's lacking confidence in themselves, what's the answer you would give them? If they're like, how do I gain more confidence?
It starts with yourself, man. You gotta start diving into those things that you're afraid of. You ain't gain confidence by going to a spot that makes you feel good. It's gonna be a false reality. And the second life gives you that challenge, all you gotta do is go back to what made you confidence, or what gave you confidence. Is that happy spot. Now, what gives you confidence, what gives you confidence, is spending years at a kitchen table trying to learn how to read and write on my own. Realizing I can't learn the way you learn. I can't. But I can learn. It gives you confidence, not being afraid. It's overcoming the fear. I just studied so very bad. So for real, I don't know how many people want to this. You know what gives me confidence? Is that I'm the one that could. If I say don't study the week. That's what gives me confidence. It's facing these things, overcoming them. But we don't overcome them every day. But facing them. And facing them. Pretty soon that face, man, this is right back. It's not in that comfort zone. It's in the discomfort zone is where my confidence is getting built. That's when it's getting built. But people want an easier answer. There has to be an easier way. There's not. I'm sorry. I searched for it my entire life. I did. I'm not. It's because and we have this beautiful family, 2, 3 houses, cars, everything. Has everything worked? I was outside looking at my God, how can you be on the naked? I walk around with backpack with all my stuff in the car. And I walk around half these parts of the world. Have nothing. happy as hell, is because I found out the whole key to life is not all that. You have to face yourself. So many people live to be 100 years old and they die miserable, having everything, because they never examined. I call it my live autopsy. You never examine this.
What did you learn when you took on that leadership role? Because I'm assuming you weren't leading teams your first 2 years as a Navy SEAL, but then the more you were in the program, you were then leading groups of guys for many years, right? What was the biggest challenge for you going as I wouldn't say a follower, but as a team member into then transitioning into a leadership role of leading the team? What was the biggest challenge for you in that transition? From team member to player to player coach, let's say. You're like not wanting me to call me a follower. When you get to the SEAL teams and you're a new guy, you're absolutely following. You don't know what you're doing. You don't understand the tactics, and so there's other people that have experience. You're listening to them. They're teaching you. And then as I got older and more experience, and eventually I did move into leadership positions and became an officer in the SEAL teams. And then it was my time to step up and lead. And the amount of lessons that I learned are countless. And that's what I ended up writing a bunch of books about. I ended up writing a bunch of books about those leadership experiences that I had. Right out of the gate, when you ask me what I learned, one of the most important things that I talk about all the time is you need to get help. You need to be helpful. Especially you step up into a leadership position, do you know everything? No, you don't know everything. If you act like you know everything, you're going to get a lot of and not only that, your troops are going to look at you and say, why are you trouble? Who do you think we are? Do you think we're stupid? So you're acting like you know everything. We actually know you don't know everything. And you're acting so their respect for you goes down. Whereas you just say, hey, look, I just got into this job. I'm going to do the best I can. I don't know everything. My mind is open. I'm here to listen. I'm here to learn. And if you guys can help me out, I'd appreciate it. No, because if you teach you as a hungry person that's ready to listen and ready to learn, and the respect for you actually goes up. So I'm not saying you can walk in and say, hey, I don't know anything. I'm ignorant. I haven't done any preparation. I haven't studied anything. I don't know anything about my job. But we can only learn so much from books and from very right? So you gotta start doing it. So you gotta, that's what I learned. Number one, you gotta be open. Yeah. How long were you a team of teams? So I enlisted in the SEAL teams for the first 8 years, and then I got a commission and became a SEAL officer. Okay. How many years were you an officer for? 12 years. 12 years. What was the most humbling experience you had as a leader in all 12 years? And was the 11th or 12th year easier than the first and second year as a team leader? So the most humbling experience, the most humbling experience you're going to experience on the battlefield if you have your guys doing the kill. Yeah. But when it happens, there's nothing that's going to be worse than that for you as a person. You feel responsible, you feel like it's your job. It's not just you feel responsible, you are responsible. Yeah, you are in charge. And so when someone gets in your kill, if you're not shouldering that burden, then you're lying to yourself. So that's number one. The story I love in Extreme Ownership, the opening chapter of Extreme Ownership is there was a blue on fratricide, meaning friendly forces killing friendly forces, and that happened when I was on a mission. It was actually my SEALs with some Army soldiers and some Iraqi soldiers in a position and in a sniper position, and they got basically attacked by a friendly Iraqi element. And the guys just wrestled, got to fight with them. One of my guys killed an Iraqi soldier. Iraqi soldiers, one of my guys got wounded. It was a nightmare. It's all on the same side. Yes. So, yeah, in charge. Wow. So, talk about that's humbling. You think you're so good. You think you've got tactics, mastery, development, stuff. You think you're great at planning, all those things. And I have to say that I thought that, but I definitely thought I was competent. And so when that it's like, this is about this. Wow. Where do you go after that? How do you go back to a confident place of being able to lead people? Because you got to have some confidence too. You can't just be, concerned that something wrong is going to happen. So how do you transition back to a confident place? Number one, take ownership. Yeah. Of what's wrong. Extreme ownership. Take extreme ownership. Right? Because it's the same thing I just said. If that would have happened and I would have said, hey guys, that was my fault. It was his fault. His fault. They know the truth. The truth is I'm the guy in charge. So everyone's respect level for me would have gone down. And their confidence in me would have gone down. But when I go in and say, hey guys, look, this is what we're wrong. This is my fault because I'm the guy in charge. And this is what we're going to do to fix it. Well, now he says, okay, well, he's taking ownership of the problem. He's actually got some good solutions to make sure this doesn't happen again. The confidence and the respect for me would have we can move forward. Right. How often do you have to take extreme ownership? Every single day. Every day. Oh, yeah. Of course. Wow. Of course. The minute that you're blaming anyone else for things that are going wrong, the moment that you do that, think about what it does. It's a responsibility. If I'm walking, if I'm on a mission and something goes wrong and I go, that wasn't my fault, what am I doing to fix it back? What am I doing? I'm not doing anything. I'm not doing because I don't think it's my fault. So I'm not going to change anything. We'll make that same mistake again. Then I'll say that was my fault. And we'll never make any progress. Whereas if I say, hey, this was my fault, here's what I'm going to do to fix it, then we fix the problem. And by the way, when I come back there and I say, hey, this is your fault, what's your reaction to that? Defensively? You're going to get defensive, yeah, of course. And then what are you going to do? Jimmy did that, Johnny was this, and you put it in. Going back to you. So now we end up with no solution. No one taking ownership of any of the problems. The problems have to get solved. We have to progress. So how many times have you taken extreme ownership of something that technically wasn't your fault? There is no picture. There is no picture. There is no place. So you take ownership of everything. This is a question, a comment that I get from my consulting business, right? We work with business leaders. And someone will say, yeah, I get it. It's really not my fault. It is your fault. It's like, oh yeah, I have somebody stop me with a question when I say, no, if you're in charge of something, and something goes wrong, it's your fault. It's all your responsibility. It's all your responsibility. Because if I'm in charge of a platoon, and the machine gunners, that's 4 or 5 levels in the chain of command, and it's on a position that I'm not even at. And he shoots his machine gun in the wrong direction. Towards friendly who's fault is that? Your fault? Yes, it's my fault. I didn't train him hard enough. I didn't make sure he understood his field of fire that he was allowed to shoot. I didn't make sure that he was being monitored correctly by his fighting team leaders to make sure that they knew what was happening. And at the end of the line, if he's not competent and capable of doing his job, it's my fault and I'm not getting great at his mission. So no matter what happens, it's my fault. So you see the leaders of big companies that have multiple lines underneath them that don't have the time to train them personally, but they have someone who's trained, who's training them, how do you it's really easy. They're going to say to me, hey, we failed this project. And I said, oh, why we failed that project? Oh, because of Bill. Look before my manager. Who's in charge of Bill? It's Mike. Okay, who's in charge of Mike? Fred. Who's in charge of Fred? Believe it. So follow the sun. Believe it. See, you're in charge of Fred. So that means you need to make sure that your intent is felt all the way down through the chain of command. How do we do that? That's leadership. This is why I have a consulting business. The larger a company gets, what I'm in charge of 8 people. Everybody knows what I'm thinking. I do that same thing. I can sit in one room and talk to them face to face. I'm in charge of a fire team. A fire team has 5 people in it. Even a company you can control 4 or 5 people. 8 people you actually get control of. You're a fire you can't control people. That's why the army is something called around the whole world. It's like 4 or 5 people in a fire team. That's what the base unit is. In the corporate world, you can handle it a little bit better. explosions happening, there's no gunfire. So you can control 10 people, something like that. That's kind of where corporate structure breaks out. The bigger you get, the more you can rely on those civilian leaders to spread the word, to understand what the mission is, to understand what the NSA is, to understand why they're doing something. That's what we have to do as leaders. And when you do that, where I was the ground force commander, HRD, 30 SEALs, or 100 SEALs and our Navy soldiers combined, plenty of operations like that. And you know how many people I talked to? I would watch three, right? I would talk to the chief commander, the commander. Yeah. And everybody can be talking to two or three people. And then they're talking to two or three people. So how do you get that message across to hundreds or thousands? If that's, there's a bunch of different ways. So in a big organization, this is something that we come across. I mean, we work with companies. I think the biggest company we work with is 167,000 employees. 167,000 employees in Florida, right? So they're all over the place. So how do you get the message? Well, there's a bunch of things that you have to do. Number one, you have to make sure your message is simple, clear, and concise. Right? You're going to communicate in a way that even a frontline trooper can understand what they're talking about. Now, you have to translate that on the because if you're my chief operating officer, obviously the level of detail that I go into with you and the chief financial officer, that's where you're hired. You guys need to be give a level of conversation and understanding. But I need to make sure that you don't want to translate back and to your next level. And then that person knows how to translate it down to their next level. And all the things change from there. There's companies where I'll go and see whatever you talk about, say, so how does everyone understand your mission is here? And they'll say, oh, absolutely. I will go to one person and say, what's the mission of the frontline? They have no idea. They have no idea. And this can be a real problem. This can be a real problem. But it becomes a real problem when if you're a frontline trooper and you don't understand what the mission is, you can make decisions on the front line. So, there are certain companies at certain stages where the most important thing they can do is be cost effective. Save money, right? And that's, if a frontline trooper needs to make a decision about, hey, should I redo this thing right now, it's going to cost us a little bit more money, or should I just let everyone a little bit better standard? Well, if you're focused on saving money, that's the same thing, you know, let this stuff be understanding a little bit better. That's a decision that can get made. Well, we're focused on making it come to bad reviews for consumers, and so we're focused to make that every company will have to spend a little more money. If the frontline trooper wait a second, this isn't what we call it, so we read that, it costs a little bit more money, but we're now achieving the mission. Guess what? As you can probably figure out, the mission changes because we work with a company where they try to do it now, they're trying to maximize the profits for this quarter because they're going public and they need 4 quarters in a row, 6 quarters in a row, and they see that increase in budget. So, okay, guess what kind of decisions they're making? Now, can you go too far with that? Absolutely. And now you get the frontline troopers in there. I'll put out as many as we can so we can choose and I save the company much money. But now we end up with bad quality out there, we lose their bad reputation, we want to put it strategically, Brian. So how do you get that message? You have to, number one, make sure it's simple, and then you communicate it. And what's a simple message? I guess it depends on the company, but it depends on the company. Yeah. Should a simple message be like one thing to me, or should it be simple to understand? Simple to understand. And what we do with companies is we drill our mission. It's kind of a mission statement, but I'm going to also a mantra, or maybe a couple mantras. In this case, hey, it's about the overquality. And now one person's making decisions on it, right? And so there's a couple mantras, 2, 3 mantras that the people can refer back to that helps them guide their decision-making process. And then on top of that, they have like a little bit more detailed mission statement where they can say, wait a second, I know the mantra says this, but it also says we're supposed to take care of our customers. If I let this go, my customers won't be taken care of. I need to adjust a little bit. What would you say is your mission, the mantras you use for your business plan? So I have a bunch of different businesses. For Echelon, our consulting business, our mission is to be the premier organization for leadership consultancy in the world. That's what we're trying to do. And you're doing great at it. We're doing great at it. How do we do that? How do we learn the mantras? Well, like we just said, what do we do to make our clients and customers happy? How do we do that? We provide them great service, and we actually can look at the metrics and say, hey, look, we're glad you brought us on board. Here's what we said we were going to do, and here's how. So that's, and the other things that we say is, we don't want to be a permanent crutch to people after life. So a lot of consultancies, they come in and hook people companies for an extended period of time, and we don't want to do that. We want to work with you for 6 months, 12 months, 18 months, depending on the size of the company, and let you go. We do have some companies that are growing rapidly, and so what we do is as they acquire new companies or as they bring in lots of new people, we are there to help train them and kind of onboard them. So that has turned into some longer-term contracts, but that's one of the mantras is we don't want to be embedded with you forever. If we're with you for too long, we fail. Yeah. Those are the kind of things we do. So what about your personal mission with the content you do and all the books, the missions there as well? I'm trying to take the lessons that I was lucky enough to learn and give them to as many people as I can so they don't have to suffer through the same mistakes that I made. Yeah. What would you say is your biggest insecurity? Do you have an insecurity? My biggest insecurity? Because from the outside looking in, you feel like it seems like you have no fear. You're extremely successful in business. Everything you put out is really successful. You've been through 20 years of training and coaching. You've seen the worst in the world. You've seen the best. It doesn't seem like you have any insecurities. So I'm curious. You're facing it today after all the lessons you've gone through. Yeah, I mean, I would say like anybody else, I don't want to fail at things. Yeah. And for me, like I said, if there's people out there that could use those lessons that I've learned and I haven't walked it to them, to me that's a failure. Yeah. So that's the kind of thing that keeps me awake at night. The other thing from that perspective is, you look at it and you say, you've seen a lot, you've been through a lot, and I have. I've been through a decent amount. There's many, many people who have been through infinitely worse than me. But, for real, I'm insecure about, and what I worry about is I worry about missing out on opportunities that I have because I got friends that will never get the chance to execute on opportunities because they didn't come home. And so for me to squander any moment, any second of my life, my life is a gift, your life is a gift. I know that for a fact. And for me to squander that is something that definitely haunts me. It haunts me every day. I won't let it happen. Yeah. Because you got a lot of friends that didn't make it back, like people you were with, or trained, or all of the above. So how do you feel like you have this responsibility to make sure you take on every opportunity or the opportunities that come to you? You've got to at least give them your best shot, even if you kind of fail at it? Yeah. I mean, there's what you just said, I mean, even as you said it, it's an unrealistic statement. Hey, every opportunity that comes your way, I'm going to take on. No, that's not true. Every opportunity that I have, prioritize and execute, which is one of the long it's like, hey, you're going to get opportunities, but I'm going to look at them, assess them, and move forward. But anyway, I'm talking about the real things that I'm trying to do, that I have the opportunity to do, I'm going to do them to the best of my ability. Yeah. Is there anything you regret in your 20 years of being a SEAL? I mean, you're always going to have regret. Is there anything that you still hold on to, that you haven't processed and let go of, or taken, okay with, I guess, like the regrets that you dealt with? I don't spend a lot of time with regret, because there's not much that we can do about it. It's happened. So the way I look at regret is what did I learn from it? What did I learn from whatever thing I'm looking at that I know I could have done a better job, could have done different? Sure, there's a million things like that, but I don't sit there and think about them all day long. What I think is like, hey, here's the lessons that I learned from them. I'm going to make those mistakes again and move forward.
Yeah. Was it challenging? You have 4 kids, did you say? 4 kids. Was it challenging at times being a father and going up to war and thinking about kids and missing out on kids? Was that challenging for you? Or do you know this is what I signed up for and it's all going to be okay? I'm going to come home eventually and spend more time with them? Or did you struggle with being a father and being away all at the same time?
Yeah, when you have kids and you go away to war and you don't know if you're going to come back, that's horrible.
How do you handle that emotionally or mentally?
I think I did a lot of compartmentalization, and so, like, for instance, I was in Ramadi, my last deployment to Iraq, and my wife asked me to send a picture of where I slept at night. Because my kids, so the kids want to see we were sleeping. We were in an old regime kind of palace on the road, not a palace, but a mansion. And of course, it's all now boarded up, and there's airbags going to every machine gun that's on it, one on yards. But that's where you're living, you know? And I had a little bedroom in there with a plywood bed that, you know, we built, and there was some kind of a crappy mattress on it, and a little cushion. Yeah, that's where I slept. And so I was going to take a picture of it so I could send it to my wife on an email. And when I took the picture, I looked at it, and I realized that there was something wrong with the picture. So I opened up a drawer, pulled out a little file, a little folder, took some pictures of my wife and kids, and put them up around the bed. And then I took a picture of it, and then I took all those things back down, I put them back in the folder, I put them back in the drawer. Because the last thing I needed to be thinking about while I was away on deployment was thinking about my wife and kids. What I needed to be thinking about was the guys that were with me, that were counting on me to make the right decisions. And so I didn't want to be thinking about my wife and kids. So I compartmentalized them. I would talk to my wife maybe once a week, call her, check in. I would tell her everything was great, everything was fine. And she would tell me the same thing. You know, it didn't matter what was going on at home as far as she would tell me about her. She didn't want me to learn about her, and the kids. So as far as I knew, everything was good. And as far as she knew, everything was good. And that was what seemed to work well.
Wow. Did she do that? Is that what Marcel did? Or is that just kind of sound like I had to?
I think some, and not just SEALs, but I think most human beings will figure that that's probably the best thing to do, is focus on your job at hand and put those thoughts and feelings aside. But I'll tell you what, you know, you talked about being scared, and I said, you know, for me being scared of one of my guys getting hurt, the last thing in the world I wanted to be thinking about while I was on deployment was my wife and kids at home, and would I ever see them again or any of that. I'm not thinking about that. That's not happening. When you're making a wrong move, when you're doing is you're hesitating. And if you're hesitating, that's when you're hurt. You're going to get hurt. You're going to get killed.
What's your biggest insecurity today? What was the last one you had? What was that?
The last one I had was probably still me. Still me, because I always talk about, I pay rent. So we used to live with $7 a place when I was growing up. We had a lot of money in Buffalo. So when we got around with my dad, we went to nothing for a period of time before she got her feet. And that $7 place used to be, it was. I was learning. I was in the sewer. My mom was there. I had nothing. And you always feel like you have nothing. I achieved so much. I was in Navy SEAL. I was in radio school. I've gone through Delta Force selection training. I did so much. I done 200 miles, pull-up records, everything. Learned to read and write, became pretty intelligent. I still was having with this phone. It wasn't until I got real sick. I talked about the last chapter of that book. I got real sick. And I was about 38 years old. I'm 43 now. And my life got real quiet. I was running 205 miles and 39 hours, so I couldn't get out of bed. The doctors couldn't figure out what was wrong with me. But once again, it was the best thing ever happened to me.
What's that?
In that moment, my whole life changed. I went from a guy who worked out every day, trained every day, to a guy who couldn't go out there. My life was taken from me. The one thing that kept me going was my training.
Yeah, you did have now you did so alone and not trained.
And that's what I told you. And that's when I realized I hadn't had the time to think about what I'd done in my life. I reflected. I did all these things, but where's the first one? I do believe that, but you must have time to reflect. I was going. I finished the race of life. And when you see how I go on. I get in the car and I go.
You won't even think of that.
Don't care about it. There are people sitting around and that's their life. They need to sit around and I accomplished something. I haven't done anything. Let's go.
Just getting started.
That's right. When I started figuring out life, that I was losing so much in the cost of 40%. I was even so much in the cost. What's it really like? God, man. I was a young, fat kid being killed. But now I'm a 180-pound person, 106 pounds in less than 3 months. You want to read, you want to do this, you want to do that. I was like, I need you. I was pure in my mind and everything. I never took time to say, my God, you came from this hell, and you're here. So there's two things. That's how I explain the best way. SEAL trainers came pretty hard, and a lot of guys were getting killed. So they designed a SEAL prep program.
Like a boot camp for the boot camp.
That's right.
Yeah.
And 2 months, in my last 2 years on top of the military, they're simply there to train these kids to get ready for young kids. So when they get to Navy SEAL trainers, they have physical stats. They're running, swimming, so they're hybrids. But they get the bullets, and instead of going to equip, why is that? This is why. We were training bigger, stronger, faster quips. It's not about the mind. It's right. We weren't diving into the sewer. Everybody's got stories. We will share on social media. We share our nice life on social media. We all have a dungeon. I'm just willing to talk about mine.
Yeah.
What was I going to talk about? I'm going to talk about my dungeon. I wasn't getting into the dungeon of these guys' lives. I wasn't building that so-called mental toughness. Mental toughness isn't something that you sample. It's something that you live in every day. So when something wrong would happen to these kids, I know they help me. It would draw out something that made them insecure. And they look for comfort. Whenever hardness comes, it may be different for you than it is for me. But you go back to your insecurities. And then when you're going to insecurities, then you look for comfort. But it was insecurities. And we all look for that cookie that your mom used to give you when you were sad, when you were sick. We look for our wife or our husband. We look for comfort. It's in those moments you must retrain your mind to think differently in health. I wasn't training yet to do that.
Why would you train?
I wasn't training myself yet because at that time I was doing what I was told. You guys need to understand the physical standard. The physical standard is not what they need to meet. It's the mental standard you must meet in life.
She knows an approval and takes two in her purse. What's the lady wants your tour? She questions the ominous voice of lover.
I wasn't meeting the mental standard. The mental standard is you must know by the time you come. Wow. I wasn't, I come 2,000 miles from my family. But if you never know that, you're still in the 7,911 place. When I was sick, I was able to slow down and reflect back on my entire life. And in that bed, when I thought I was dying, because that story was wrong, that sixth person in my life was wrong. I didn't care if I died or lived. Because I was, for the first time in my life, happy and at peace. Because I reflected back on where I started.
You said, well, I have come around.
That's right. And no one saved me. But one like someone came down here and guided me through life. When you figure this out on your own, the amount of pride and dignity and self-respect you have. That's why I walk around the streets with a backpack and just like I don't do anything else.
Yeah.
You figure it out by going inside yourself, by callousing the victim's mentality. You're always a victim. Even if you have anything in life, until you realize that you've cheated. You have to first realize that you've cheated. And my mom has accomplished so much in her life since my father. But she doesn't understand.
Really? She doesn't acknowledge it and reflect
She
back.
continues to go back to the dungeon of her past life.
And live in that space.
And live in that space. But to live in the space that she's in now, and reflecting back on, oh my God, this is that day of my life. So,
have you talked to her about this?
we talked about it all the time, and you have to be really real. You have to really go, not surface. I don't live on the surface of anything.
Yeah.
Surface is not the way. You got 175 pounds and 200 pounds. Tell everybody I'm doing it. I don't do that. I'll do that. Well, the power of a lot of this money, I used to speak at holidays. I don't do it. Everybody comes about that substance. You don't have to feel in our bodies and our minds and our souls. I act like that's what I feel that's all our minds and shit past these resistance and good for that. I don't feel myself with telling me what I'm doing. You have to do that. You have to do that way. And most of us, we're going to stay around mentality. We're going to rest. We're going to ride. We're going to fulfill something in our lives. Because we continue to take the journey that is mapped out. And I talk to life. A lot of us like to work with the focus on it. And through that, and go to the gas stations. The next 2 miles, get to the McDonald's, a crack of it's an easy route. Very few of those are from that side. The crack of a big road way. That's amazing. This is powerful because I've been talking to people. I've been living that way normally my whole life. Whatever the thing is I'm afraid of. When I was in high school, I started doing those things. I was just like, I'm sick and tired of being in the grade. So I need to do the things that scare me the most. You know, I talked about this last podcast, really silly stories. I was afraid to talk to girls when I was a teenager. I was afraid of dancing. I was afraid of like singing and playing music in front of people. I was afraid of all these different things. And so I said, I'm going to do this. I'm going to give myself a challenge, and this is the day until it's here. And I thought that's what more than anything doing here than how you live your life. So I lived, and it helped me feel so more confident. We all come back here saying this doesn't have control of me anymore. But it can be something more. It's 100% right. Most of the time, I first I don't know my life I could do this. It's until you open your mind, open-mindedness creates that. You sit down and process it. When I've been before, everybody around me really should think that there's 4,020 pounds. That's the first thing. 4,024 hours? Yeah, it's 4,024 hours. The type that I did was turn the line on the gas station. I mean, like,
They didn't make it every hour.
Instead of taking life to live out being this gradual thing, stop breaking it down. Stop breaking it down. Most of us, we live in a box. And we don't want to get outside that box, ever. Outside that box is all these possibilities of life. What we do is we shut it down. We're a prisoner in our own mind. This is all I can do. This is all I can do. And we could think of any possibilities. We can do this, we can do that. We can do all the things. And I'm going to start thinking about this in the city. So if I'm on the shackle, we'll do with me. We'll do what's good. We'll do what's good. So, the people think that they live themselves, not knowing that we have the power to live themselves and change millions of lives, not face somebody, not face myself. And through that, I would die with never knowing that I had the power to change millions of lives. And the hard thing is, the hard thing is, I was out here in heaven. That's what I said about it. I got to heaven, and God has a chart like that. Everybody's like it. God knows all. I said that. How can we believe it? It doesn't matter. I'm not judging anybody. Blessed my God. You get to heaven, the spirit of the time to sit down, out of cockroach, turn into my whole life, and you sit down and say, this is God. And you get to that chart, and you say, look at this. And look at this chart. And this chart has all these different things. And my name, and these things are real. I've been changed the world. I've been set records. I've been ABC. I've been all these things the way that I accomplished. I could be a good honor here. I'm like, God, always speaking to me. I said, I'm the God. I was using last guy, smoking cockroaches, and doing his thing. So, yeah, I'm the God. It says here, I got a bachelor's in master's. It says, I was good. God would love. That's what you will do. My biggest fear is the final answer. When the final judgment, you talk to something. Let's be. I don't want to sit down and have a conversation for something that says, it didn't happen. You should have been around. Are you really in heaven now? It's about life that left for the table to feel. To not really not go to the next level, to the next level. So in my mind, I believe that. In God knows all. I believe that. I will God has to put there right now. I just have to have saying, I got you to see me alive. That's how I look at it. I now know that there's this little cat on the uniform. Little cat. Themselves.
Wow. There's a cat in the human body. That's right. You don't want
I don't believe so. Because one thing I was about I lived for 7 years and I was something like that. I was climbing out with a dog. I kept climbing that dog. I went the third time, the second time, the third time, we drove the cemetery, and the cat was over and looked at me. I'm not reflecting on that jacket. I said, this is a bad time. Sick. I had 7 trespasses. I was checked. You must be. He said, this is your last time. I should have been let you go back. I started getting a stress back. Stress back. Stress and this is that to not put crap on the body. It's the mind. That's the thing I wake up at 3:30 doing my diet, doing my exercise. I just got to, and I took from my head all the way up to my calf, and I put 2 laptops on. And so I ran not using the tape. I know my hip so the first 45 minutes of an hour was absolutely excruciating pain. It was motivating. Yeah, it was awesome. It was the fact that this kid goes to that. I'm in the hardest all these guys around are stressed. My mind, now, the weakest they don't have a heart. You can do this. Life is one thing on you better yourself. Is it true? The most people and if you take that mindset and you want to put that around, that's what made me powerful when my body fought. And 3 months later, my stress fractures are healed. I'm running out of them.
Give us a time, get this
I never had it since. I'm 33 years old. I ran 7,000 miles in 2007. I've had a stress fracture since. And I'm not saying to do that. I'm just saying that when the mind and the body connect, and you do give yourself a way out. No way out for this time with that. Wow. I'm going to be a devil soon. I'm going to die trying. Period. My body said after that. I'm going to keep doing it. I believe it. I have to do it. I'm going to figure this out with you. The worst part of your life is what we can do. Wow. And so as you hear that Hillary race I did, I could have figured out more about everything was separate. You're not talking about go out there and kill yourself. Don't take these words into account. And then be out for 6 months. That's right. That's what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying I'm going to start that life forced me. I had a choice. I had a choice. This guy, this money. I had a choice. I chose this path. And you're still choosing it. I'm still choosing to go back to that guy. And I found out something. We feel stress reaction. I found out something in facing all these things. I found out a whole other world, which is why I walk around with all my stuff in the black backpack. I found out a whole other way. A whole other way. No matter how far you get in life, we have to be able to go back to scratch in your mind. At a moment. You can never get so far beyond scratch. What that means is, when you accomplish something in life, if you want to go back to scratch, go back to that $7 person that was there, and visit that place for a long period of time. If you were here, and you got scratch, you look out. Scratch is what makes you better. Scratch, fiction, obstacle, creates growth. The word fiction is when you get caught up in the head. You think the rest. That's right. You choose the word fiction is minor. Because why? I'm hungry. The refrigerator is always cold. So your comforts are now. So the discomfort is now very minuscule to the discomfort that you know is second to all next place. So you have to go back to the total discomfort. To this very area that where you're at now. I'm not saying it's there. Visit. And then you raise your. That's right. Always take your trips.
to an author, to a business leader, to an executive coach, a leadership coach? How do you manage it when you are training CEOs from companies that have 100,000 plus employees and you're number on the list? And podcast, how do you manage it daily? Because I've seen over and over again through my own experiences, through the books that I cover in my podcast, the books I've written in my life, if you want to open yourself up for a massive downfall, just let your ego get out of control. If you want to make that happen, you got to let your ego get out of control. So every single day for me, it starts ground zero. I've got to go forward with an open mind, with a humble mind, looking at the world. It's constantly when I get asked a question, I don't think to myself, I know the answer to this. I mean, I get asked questions all the time. And generally, when I get a question, 99% of the questions that I get, I've heard in some form before. But I don't ask this before I already know the answer. I said, let me hear what details is this person talking about? What angle is this person coming at it from? How can I learn from this question? How can I accept this question? So, everything that I look at from a humble perspective. And if you don't do that, it's going to be bad. I mean, you don't have to ask me questions about God, right? You ask me questions about my beliefs, say, hey, here's my beliefs. I'm humble, and I'm listening, and my mind is open, and this is what I've seen, and this is what I can tell you about sure. I'm just sitting here jumping up and down and saying, you should believe that. I'm saying you should say something. You should keep an open mind about what's going on in the world. I am. I think you should do the same thing. I would my mindset every morning. I wake up with an open mind. I can only look in the mirror and say, you know, when you wake up and you say, what's going on about my business and my life is to say myself, okay, I could be wrong about this. You know, it's,
hey, how's it going? I'm your DJ Dennis.
the books that I wrote follow on to extreme ownership. The book is called The Dichotomy of Leadership. What's interesting about this book is the dichotomy of leadership is like, you can't be extreme in one direction or the other, right? You can't be, if you're in a leadership position, you don't talk all the time, right? Obviously, as a boss, you communicate, you need to talk to people. But if you talk too much, that's what happens. People stop listening to you. Putting out too much information, they don't know what's important, that's not. So that's bad. You can't go too far in that direction. The other direction, you can't not talk enough, and I want to know what's going on, and all the time. So you have to be balanced, and that's the whole idea of the dichotomy of leadership. Now, probably the first dichotomy that I have to say to myself, there's another side to this. I used to tell the NCO officers that you have to be aggressive, you have to be aggressive, that's how you got to be. Even when something's going on, you have to be aggressive to do that yourself. And if you're aggressive, you're hesitating, okay, so then I got to love myself. And I'm not extreme, that's extreme, yes. So the question is, can you be too aggressive? Absolutely. You can, hey, there's a shooter that's over there. That's a package. So you try to get over there. You've been too aggressive. So what you have to do is you have to be balanced. And that's probably, so even as a has-been kind of, too aggressive, can you be too much impact? Yes, you can. So you end up with this. Can you be too passive? Oh, yeah, absolutely. Now you're making progress. Now you're getting okay, so that's where you want to be. The idea of extreme ownership. Can you take ownership? Yes, you can. Really? Yes, you can. That's how you can take ownership of anything. Thanks. Listen to this. If you're looking for me, and I say, okay, here's the mission that I want you to accomplish tonight. Here's the people I want you to take. Here's the weapons I want you to bring. Here's the vehicle I want you to bring. I want you to get your target. Here's the method I want you to secure the target. Here's what I want you to do to get that. So that's the plan. Now you take ownership and go execute. Now, can you really take ownership of that plan? Say, so when you really feel, and now you come out against the obstacles and execute my plan, what strategy? That's not my plan, but and you're at you So, now we take each ownership. So what I need to do is I say, hey,
I will walk over to my plan, you come back and you decide what's your plan, and I say, wow, that's pretty good. And now you're going to go to you. What's your attitude? I would go jazz, yes. So can you take total ownership? The answer is yes, you can. So just about every, you can name a trade, right? You can name a trade. You pull from and you take the years and you become so even as I give it a leadership, I to say to myself, so, like you said earlier, you're constantly questioning everything. And to me, what that is, that's humility. That's you being humble enough to say, well, I really don't understand this that well. And there's some things in life that I don't get. Whereas as opposed to walking around saying, I already got this figured out. I already know what I'm doing. I already know what I'm doing. I already know what God is specific. I already know but you said you're questioning everything, which is a lot of responsibility. Is there anything that is missing in your life? You feel like I feel like I'm living a pretty good life right now. I mean, I've told you the last thing, I got a great family, I got great kids, I got a great company, I got working with great people. Healthy, get to work out, train. I'm feeling very in the dream, man. You're out living the dream. So you never feel like there's something missing for you right now. If there is, you're working towards it. You're working on the next book, you're building business. You're putting something missing, and am I satisfied? Right? I'm not satisfied. I mean, I always want to feel like I never get down at the end of the day and go, cool, mission accomplished. It's my job. Yeah. So that's that you feel like nothing's missing. Yeah, that's a fair statement. What brings you the most joy in your life and makes you smile the most? I mean, my kids rule. My wife and kids, kids are cool and funny and we have a good time and lots of inside jokes and all that. Yeah. And I've trained jiu-jitsu and that's very fun. And surf, that's fun. Yeah. Peloton, that's fun. How old are your kids? 20? 18, 16, and 10. So what's the biggest lesson you learned about yourself being a product? Your kids are not going to be who you want them to be. You're training them to be who they are. You can give them some course corrections a little bit, but they're going to be who they are. And the more you try and force them into what you want them to be, the harder they're going to push back the results. Did you learn that the hard way, or did you tried to train them in a certain way, or somewhat? And it's pretty obvious, like, from my perspective, I was having a similar conversation with a bunch of executives, and they were always telling me, we're down the road, we're at dinner now, so we're not talking about, but I was always asking about parenting and everything else, and I said at the table, I'm like, hey, all you guys doing is acting like their parents want them to do. And I was like, one guy at the time, right? Because most people, your parents are like, this thing, they do something else. I mean, I joined the Navy when I was 18 years old. Like, I wasn't even on the checklist of top 20 things that my parents wanted me to do. Not even in the same part. They want you to go, they want that, so here you go. Yeah, see ya. So, when you try and prepare your kids into being something that you want them to be, there's no shot it's going to be. It's the same thing with leadership. It's the same thing with leadership. If I'm trying to force my plan down my team's throat, the more resistance I'm going to get from it. Whereas, as soon as I allow that plan to blow it down, the better it's going to be received. When people ask me how do you buy in,
Justin and right on the Kardashian, well, Justin went to Kardashian and he for a while.
And the client, some tiny client client that I think is a low probability bus worker, and the contract doesn't really matter. I'd be like, hey, give it a shot, give it a comment, do a couple adjustments, and give me some coaching on it, and then you go and you do your thing, and you come back and you're like, oh, we did it. And I say, it's like, let's do it. And then we talk about it. I say, you said this, and you said that, and some other ones can do about it. I like to actually ask you to meet. So then I can sit there and make sure and say, hey, these are the things that might have worked. Now, if you want me to baseline that the reason is going to add value to our company, I'm going to use it. Let's think about that. Let's say that. Tell me that again. And all of a sudden,
you're not going to reach back and say, what are two things that any leader could do to improve their leadership skills right off the bat? Two things you can think of. And what are two things that one of these leaders do that so what are two things that you can do about how many with the client for you and at the end of the 30 minutes, I'll have every discussion that we've had in pros and cons of each one of their arguments, and I do that for 38 minutes. And in the 39th minute, I say, hey, here's what I think we should do. And guess what? Because I've done an accurate assessment and listened, I'm actually going to be able